And we're live. Good morning, Jeff. How you doing?
Good morning. I'm doing wonderful. How are you? You got allergies though, so not so good.
I have allergies like a mother right now. But it's Monday. I love Mondays, so who cares?
Yeah.
If I look
What is
like
it?
I'm
What
crying, it's because of allergies.
what's in the air right now?
We got a bit of everything right now. Dander, mold, cedar, something, ragweed. I didn't even know ragweed was a thing. Austin's just the home of allergies. It's fantastic for
All right,
someone who
fair
gets
enough.
allergies. Why do people live here? I don't know.
Yeah. Right.
Uh, anyway, so it's
Cool.
Monday. What does that mean?
Monday means it's MarketWatch Monday. So if you are new to us, let me just explain. Each Monday, we report on all new e-commerce businesses that are listed for sale. We focus on businesses selling physical products with an e-commerce sales channel globally, so worldwide, and anything publicly available for sale above the $1 million price point. And if you have been following along for a while, then you'll know exactly what all this is. So good to have you either way. So currently, we're tracking 92 active listings for sale, 92, with an additional 38 pending deals that are under offer. So there is a lot of activity, and it keeps going up and up the last few weeks. That number has just been
Yeah.
getting bigger, bigger, and bigger. So, yeah, so what happened in the marketplace? Well, there were 3 new listings above the $1 million price point, ranging between 1.15 million and 26.5 million. 2 are in the highly sought after pet retail space, and the other is in specialty knives. And the median profit margin was 36%, so quite good, above average. And we'll put links to all of these in the group below. And so comparatively, the median multiple was back up this week. Last week it was quite low. So we're at the average is 3.8 times, and last week was 2.5 times. But there was a very particular reason for that. If you caught us last Monday, you'll know why. And so, yeah, so this is where the overall average hovers on larger deals above the $1 million price point. So do you want to add anything to that before we jump into one of these deals and have a closer look?
Yeah, I think the thing we see on a week-to-week basis is the median multiple swings really high, a lot. I mean, because
Yeah.
there's only just a couple, it's a small sample size each week. There's only a few deals coming out every week. However, the overall market, there's almost 100 deals to choose from that are active above $1 million right now. That's a lot of deals on the market. I said this last week that it's just growing and growing and growing. There's a lot of choice for buyers out there right now. So that's interesting.
Yeah. And it's also interesting to sort of take with you as a seller, is that when you're looking to sell your business, you know that investors have almost 100 other businesses to choose from. At the same time, though, there would be evaluating where to invest their money. So your business needs to stand out, and it needs to stand up to scrutiny. So think about those kind of things, and keep tuning in, keep joining in, because we're dropping some good value bombs here about what investors really want to see. So keep coming back.
And before we go into the deal, I might just throw this up real quick. So if you do want to know what it takes to sell for the higher end of these multiples, this is a great resource, fbascorecard.com. You can jump over there and look at a literal scorecard that we created with 5 categories. So you can rate your business against businesses that have sold over the past 12 months. There's a video of me walking you through how to think about your business as well. But that's a cool resource that you might want to check out.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, because like each section, you'll have like a little bit of text, and you can say, oh, my business sort of aligns here, but then you can look at the other text and be like, oh, these are the things I really need to, that's what I need to get to. So it gives you a good sort of visual about where you would be on a scale, but also what kinds of things you might need to do to bump that value. So that's interesting too. So
yeah,
cool.
For sure.
What do you want to look at today?
Let's look at this knife deal. think it's kind of interesting. So
It's
the knife
interesting.
deal, yeah, it's oh, this is another interesting thing I didn't work out yet. I'll run the numbers on this before I talk about it though, while we're talking about the other pieces. So this one is an SBA deal. So if you've listened to us for a little while, you'll understand that an SBA deal is quite sought after. There's a lot of buyers looking to use SBA debt, especially right now. There's I think we've got another month or two maybe, where the government's actually paying the first 6 months of payments on an SBA loan, which is a small business administration here in the States, trying to stimulate the economy with all of the uncertainty happening right now. So this one is a US-based entity and can be eligible for an SBA loan, which is cool. I've got it listed for $1.15 million. And like we said, it's in the specialty knife category, which is kind of an interesting category. We have a deal in the survival space right now, so we know a little bit about this space at the moment. They're saying that the traffic has doubled over the last 30 days. They're not saying that revenue has doubled though. It's kind of interesting. I wonder if people are just coming to the blog or something about specific articles, or if they're actually coming and there's more sales right now. It could go either way. So
yeah, well, I mean, they did kind of point out that, you know, for law enforcement, military, or civilian self-defense, I wonder if they have a lot of instructional type stuff about self-defense that are kind of hitting on that, doubling the traffic, but not necessarily the revenue. Yeah. Interesting choice of words, and good pickup on that.
What else did you see on this one?
Well, it's just, you know, like knives, right? I mean, knives can really, you know, can really bump people the wrong way. And although this is SBA eligible, which kind of opens up the buyer pool, it's going to be closed off a little bit when people, you know, sort of might sort of visualize it as kind of a weapon, and they don't really want to associate their firm, because I mean, these aren't necessarily just the high net worth individuals buying these businesses, right? I mean, these people have to like sell it to all their backers and lenders and bankers, and all of the people have to agree that this is a good business to buy. And all it has to do is rub somebody the wrong way, or they don't really like how it fits with their values, and all of a sudden that deal is off. So anyway, that might limit something. But I like the age of the business. The multiple at 3.5 seems to be, you know, in line with the age and the numbers that they're providing. But on the listing, it says inventory not included, and I don't know if that just means that they just didn't write anything in that box, or if it means that there no inventory is not included at that price and would be negotiated separately, or the guy is keeping all his knives and like you can deal with it. I don't know.
I like that. I'm keeping all the knives.
Yeah,
that's a business with their own knives.
Or he's stocked out, you know, and doesn't actually have any inventory, which might change things a little bit with no working capital there. But yeah, I don't know. Like it looks good, but then you picked up on something interesting too, about something in the description about that. It says it's easily operated from a home office or a small storage facility, and that's sort of what did that really? You sort of mentioned something that to question again, something that might be in the wording there that might be craftily worded or not immediately clear.
Yeah, so I picked this one because it has the highest margin this week of 38% net margin, claimed net margin. Of course, you need to check this yourselves when you're going into the deal. It's not a deal we're wrapping. So that's a disclaimer aside. But with a high margin, I'm always looking at a business saying how are they managing to maintain such a high margin? And they talk about brand name products here as well. So are they reselling other products? So is it their own products? But then when they talk about a small storage facility or your house, it sounds to me like they're actually getting this inventory and keeping it locally. So maybe in their backyard or their garage or something, and they're possibly shipping out of their own house as well. So if they need to go down to the post office every day and they need to receive stock and have room for the inventory, that's going to reduce the buyer pool quite a bit, because most buyers don't want to have to deal with that. And then if you add in a 3PL solution, that starts to impact cost. And that can, depending on how much work they need to do with picking and packing and sorting as it bundled stuff, it might create quite a bit of a cost increase there. So if I was wanting to take this into 3PL, I'd go check out those costs and I'd try and negotiate that into the deal and say, look, it's great that you work out of your house, but I don't want to.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, it also could be just a high margin industry. I don't really know anything about knives. So don't, crucify me here, but a sharp piece of steel with a handle, I don't know if it can really, cost that much to produce, depending on where the supplier is. And if they're fairly light, then they don't cost a whole lot to ship either. But I would imagine that, when you're talking about, he's sort of fulfilling by himself, how do you get oh,
we have a guest.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
That's all right.
I was wondering when that was going to happen.
Yeah, she just sort of figured out how to open the door by herself. So she sees Dad is sitting outside. I came outside of the office because it's so nice out and summer's, starting, to go sit on the patio and get some work done. But there's the perils of that too.
Yeah, that's cool.
But yeah, like, is there any shipping issues? Like, can you just send a survival or a hunting knife through UPS or USPS, or like, can you do that, or do you have to have like, some documentation or some safety parameters or whatever? Like, I would imagine some unionized stuff, they wouldn't want to take that risk and they wouldn't ship what they might classify as a weapon or a dangerous object. So yeah, I don't know about that, but anyway.
Lots of questions around this one. Also, expansion opportunities. If you're going into certain countries, can you still sell the item? That type of thing. There's some question marks there. There is one interesting thing with another interesting thing, I should say, is they're saying the full-time ops manager will stay on with the new owner. So my question there is their salary included in the net margin? If so, that's awesome. But where are they handling the inventory right now? Do they come to the owner's house and help out at the back? Is it their brother? Is it their wife? Like we've talked about before, sell the wife with the business. I don't know. I'd want to dig into that a little bit. And is that a normalized salary? Like, is that the salary they're going to be taking and happy to take to stay? Just a couple of questions. There's only a few sentences here, but we're getting quite a lot out of this to talk about.
There's a lot between the lines there for sure. And some of this stuff has been very carefully worded. I mean, it's a piece of marketing material after all. So yeah, but I mean, I don't think that would really bother somebody who's either in this space and B has their own fulfillment. They can easily sort of absorb that and handle that if they've already have their own 3PL and their own facilities. So that might not bother too many people. But I mean, if we're just talking about individuals accessing SBA, they're kind of want that set up already, at least some of that stuff. So that might be interesting to see how this one plays out.
It just gives you the whole country to choose from instead of Southern California, which is where these guys are based. So if you've got a local buyer, that's awesome. But if you've got someone in New York or wherever, right, they're looking for deals too. That's the thing that we find the most important is how do we broaden the buyer pool to get as much buyer competition as possible when we take a deal to market. So anyway, interesting one. Well, it'll be interesting to see how long this one sits around, or if it goes quick. It should go pretty quick because of the SBA side of things.
Yeah, I think so. I would say so.
Yeah. So how can people reach out, Jeff, and get in touch?
Yeah, absolutely. sales@thefbabroker.com. Best email to use. Come straight to my inbox. And if you're thinking about selling your business now, selling your business 5 years from now, if you want to, just chat about the market and see what the market's doing or things you can do to sort of add value now. So for exit later, whatever you want to talk about, happy to chat it through. So sales@thefbabroker.com, and we'll find a time to have a call and figure out what your plans are and how we can help.
Awesome. Sounds good. Cool. Well, yeah, reach out if you want to chat with Jeff. And otherwise, we'll see everyone in the group tomorrow. So what we do now is the public versions of these are Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So we do MarketWatch Monday, we do What Buyers Want Wednesday, and FAQ Friday. So if you're on the public channels, any of these you can join. And on Tuesday and Thursday, we do just in our seller group here, that Double Your Exit community. we're helping a bunch of our clients maximize the value of their business before going to sell. And this Thursday, this is kind of interesting, and Jeff he was just asking me, what are we actually doing here?
I'm still curious about what this is.
This Thursday, I'm doing a live presentation, a free training in the group that's all about the biggest opportunity in FBA right now that nobody's talking about. So if you want to join that, join our group, Double Your Exit Community, or email us and we'll get you the invite to that. If you want to be on live, we're actually going to do this on Zoom, so you can interact with us live while we're doing that, or you can just watch in the group on Thursday at 12 noon Central. But anyway, I'll leave that there for now. So anyway, have a great week ahead, and thanks, Jeff, and we'll see you guys soon.
Sounds good. Bye for now.